Beneath the Surface. The story begins on a rainy Thursday night. I was alone in my apartment, the dull hum of my computer the only sound breaking the silence. I had always been fascinated by the hidden parts of the internet, the places where few dared to tread. The dark web had a reputation for being a haven for illegal activities and unthinkable horrors, and I wanted to see if the rumors were true. Curiosity, they say, killed the cat. I logged into the dark web using a Tor browser, navigating through the layers of anonymity that made this hidden part of the internet so elusive. At first, it was mundane. Forums discussing conspiracy theories, black markets selling illicit goods, and encrypted chat rooms. But then I stumbled upon a link that piqued my interest. The Abyss. The site required a password, but through a series of cryptic clues and puzzles, I managed to gain access. The Abyss was unlike anything I had seen before. It was a collection of disturbing videos, supposedly live feeds from hidden cameras around the world. Each video had a title like The Butcher's Basement or The Dollmaker's Workshop. It was like a macabre reality TV show, broadcast from the depths of hell. Against my better judgment, I clicked on a video titled The Watcher's Room. The screen went black for a moment, and then a grainy image appeared. It was a dimly lit room, sparsely furnished, with a single chair in the center. The camera was positioned in a corner, providing a wide view of the room. I leaned closer to the screen, trying to make out any details. Then, the door to the room opened, and a man was pushed inside. His hands were bound, and a blindfold covered his eyes. He stumbled forward, collapsing onto the floor. The door closed behind him with a loud, echoing thud. I felt a chill run down my spine. The man struggled to his feet, his breathing heavy and labored. He called out, but no one answered. He shuffled towards the chair, collapsing into it with a defeated sigh. For several minutes, nothing happened. The man simply sat there waiting. Then, a voice crackled through a hidden speaker in the room. It was low and distorted, barely recognizable as human. "Welcome to the Watcher's Room," it said. "Your every move is being monitored. There is no escape." The man's reaction was immediate. He bolted upright, yanking at his bindings, screaming for help. His pleas echoed through the room, but there was no response. The voice continued, unperturbed. "The rules are simple. Survive until dawn, and you will be set free. Fail, and you will become part of the collection." The screen flickered, and a timer appeared in the corner. 7 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. 7 hours until dawn. I was riveted, unable to look away from the unfolding horror. The man searched the room frantically, finding nothing but bare walls and a locked door. He tried to force the door open, but it was solid and unyielding. His desperation grew with each passing minute, his screams turning to sobs. After what felt like an eternity, the man sank to the floor, defeated. The timer now read 5 hours, 32 minutes, and 47 seconds. He was losing hope, and I could feel his terror through the screen. My heart pounded in my chest, a part of me wanting to reach through the monitor and help him, despite knowing it was impossible. Suddenly, the lights in the room flickered, and the door creaked open. The man froze, staring at the opening with wide, terrified eyes. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a figure stepped into the room. It was a woman, her face obscured by a mask that resembled a porcelain doll's. Her movements were slow and deliberate, almost graceful. She carried a large knife, its blade glinting in the dim light. The man backed away, his bound hands raised in a futile attempt to protect himself. The woman advanced, her footsteps eerily silent. She raised the knife, and in a swift motion slashed through the man's bindings. He stared at her in disbelief, not daring to move. She tilted her head as if studying him before turning and leaving the room, the door closing behind her with a soft click. The man remained motionless for a moment, processing what had just happened. Then he scrambled to his feet and rushed to the door. It was locked once more. He banged on it with his fists, but it didn't budge. The timer continued to count down. 4 hours, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds. Hours passed, each minute dragging on with excruciating slowness. The man paced the room, his anxiety palpable. Every now and then, the lights would flicker, and he would freeze, expecting the woman to return. But she never did. With less than an hour remaining, the man seemed to reach a breaking point. He picked up the chair and smashed it against the door, the wood splintering with each impact. The door remained intact, mocking his efforts. He collapsed in a heap, his body racked with sobs. The timer reached 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds, and the screen went black. I sat there, staring at the monitor, my mind racing. What had I just witnessed? Was it real? It felt too vivid, too detailed to be a hoax. I logged off the site, but the images stayed with me. The man's desperation, the woman's masked face, the cold, detached voice, they haunted my dreams. I couldn't shake the feeling that I had seen something I wasn't meant to see. A few days later, a package arrived at my doorstep. There was no return address, just my name scrawled in red ink. I hesitated before opening it, my hands trembling. Inside was a small, unmarked USB drive. Against my better judgment, I plugged it into my computer. A single file appeared. The Watcher's Room, MP4. My blood ran cold as I realized it was a recording of the video I had watched. But this time there was something different. The video started the same way, with the man being pushed into the room. But as it progressed, I noticed subtle changes. The camera angles shifted, showing me parts of the room I hadn't seen before. And then I saw myself. There, on the screen, was a live feed of my apartment. The camera panned across my living room, capturing every detail. My breath caught in my throat as I realized the implications. Someone was watching me. The screen went black, and the same distorted voice from the video spoke. "Welcome to the Watcher's Room," it said. "Your every move is being monitored. There is no escape." A timer appeared in the corner of the screen. 7 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. From that moment on, I knew my life would never be the same. The dark web had reached out and touched me, pulling me into its depths. And now, like the man in the video, I was trapped in a nightmare from which there was no escape.